Toyota dealers. Let's go places. SunTrust. And by the All-South Highway Safety Team. The All-South Highway Safety Team reminds you to play it safe by slowing down behind the wheel.
Perfect night for baseball in Washington. Very comfortable temperatures as Steven Strasburg takes the mound for the Washington Ball Club. Atlanta comes in at 52-42 on the year. They've beaten the Nationals 6 out of 10 times. And Joe, what a very different and unique looking lineup for Brian Snitker as Atlanta starts the second half tonight on the road.
And I say, why not? Why not try some things? Moving Acuna up to the leadoff spot in front of Albies certainly will help him get a few extra good pitches to hit. And I think for Ronald, it's just a matter of kind of settling in, maybe in a spot in the order where he can just kind of concentrate on getting on base and not trying to do too much. Let's hope it works out for him. And everything else looks pretty much the same, except Inciarte moves down to the 7th spot.
So that's the Toyota starting 9. They'll be challenged by Steven Strasburg, Joe, who's pitched okay in his rehab stints, but hasn't pitched a big league game since June the 8th.
Yeah, you see down there at the bottom of that graphic, he came out of that game after only 2 innings with a sore shoulder. So this is a big test for him. And ironically, he's 30 years old today, and he's making his 30th career start against the Atlanta Braves on the same night. 11-10 lifetime against the Braves.
I said a moment ago the break for both of these clubs came at a perfect time. How hard is it from a player's perspective to crank it up in a game this important this early right after the All-Star game?
It's more mental than physical. I think the guys hopefully got some rest during the break, the exception of the guys who were All-Stars. They didn't get much of a break at all. We'll see how they're affected by it too.
So Steven Strasburg with that new modified windup faces Ronald Acuna, and his first pitch is cut on and missed, and we're underway. 82 degrees officially, and a 13-mile-an-hour wind out of the southeast tonight as Acuna batting .249. Fouls one straight back, and just like that, it's 0-2.
I believe this is the first game of the year for Acuna against the Nationals.
Strasburg 95 strikeouts in 80 2/3 innings. He is quickly ahead 0-2, and Acuna looks at that one outside. Fielding Culberson, by the way, has the plate for game 1 tonight. C.B. Buckner, Chris Conroy, and Brian Onora first to third on the bases, and it's downstairs. Ronald takes ball 2. 2-2 the count.
Acuna went into the break on a tough slide. He was 5 for his last 34, 13 strikeouts, 0 for his last 10. Came at a good time for him too to regroup.
And fouled away. This series will be an interesting comparison as well. You've got 20-year-old Ronald Acuna. You've got 19-year-old Juan Soto, both playing outfield for the Braves and Nationals respectively. We'll see how it works out when the Braves leave town here Sunday afternoon. Line drive into center field, a base hit for Acuna. So Ronald with a big turnaround first. He'll slam on the brakes, and after falling behind 0-2, he rifles a single up the middle to get the game started.
What a good start to this road trip and to this second half. Fastball down the middle, squared up, line shot. You know, these Nationals, they've got a little chip on their shoulder. They're 5 games out. They're not used to being where they are right now at 500. Did not play well in the first half, but played well coming into it. They're getting healthy, I should say. They're getting their players back. Ryan Zimmerman activated today, but not in the lineup. We expect to see him tomorrow.
Daniel Murphy, Matt Wieters, Ryan Zimmerman, Adam Eaton have all played fewer than 40 games for Washington this year. As Acuna takes off, got a great jump. Wieters' throw is way late. And how about the flying feet of Ronald Acuna? He's a leadoff man. He's singled. He's just stolen second.
Huge jump. You're right. He had 3, 4, 5 steps before Strasburg ever let go of the baseball. And Wieters is pretty good at throwing out base stealers.
So an RBI chance for Ozzie Albies, the Braves all-star at second base. 39 hits in his last 103 at bats. That's a .379 average. He has been red hot. And didn't get the off-speed pitch. 2 balls and a strike. 52 extra base hits for Ozzie, 20 homers. Entering the all-star break, he scored 74 runs. That's more than anybody else in the National League, and more total bases than anyone in the National League. And that one's slicing into left. It's gonna get past Soto and head toward the wall. It's 1-0 Atlanta. Helmet goes flying for Ozzie. He stands at second in the first. An RBI double, and the Braves lead 1-0.
An even better start. Goes the other way. 2-1 pitch again down the middle. That just had the center of the plate. Ozzie didn't try to pull it. And Soto thought he could catch that and prevent Acuna from advancing, and didn't come up with even touching the baseball.
So Freddie Freeman, right place, right guy, right time. Freddie is our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. Look at his numbers head to head with Strasburg.
Aren't too many guys that have a .356 average against him. I can promise you that.
So 11 pitches in the game. Strasburg trails, and now Ozzie will take third base and no throw. He belly flops into third base. Lost the helmet again, and now he's 90 feet away with nobody out.
Braves have something on Strasburg. They've done their homework here in terms of how he maybe only looks once or doesn't even look at all. Great timing by Albies there.
So now for Freddie, a fly ball could score a second run. 1-1 pitch. Broken bat hit slowly toward third. Rendon holds the runner. Now the break toward the plate. Ozzie's going to slide in safely there on a ground out to third.
He had a great advantage. Ozzie did, because Rendon's playing so far off the line for Freddie that Ozzie could come at least a third, if not almost halfway home, by the time Rendon let go of the ball. Look how far Anthony is off the line. And then forced him to almost throw it away. That is great heads up instinctual base running. And Freddie will take the RBI.
You bet. His 62nd of the year, and now Nick Markakis the batter. 2-0 Atlanta here in the first inning. And that one all the way to the backstop. Ball one from Strasburg. Yeah, that base running play by Albies reminds me of the old Chuck Tanner play. Little ground ball to third. Base runner would follow the third baseman in, and when he makes the throw to first, you force the D to make 2 long throws and beat the play at the plate. And no chance to get Albies, who lost his helmet for the cycle in that sequence.
Yeah.
Well, what a rewarding week it's been for Nick Markakis. His first All-Star game comes into play, second in the league in hitting. Got booed by the Nationals fans, which means you're having a great year.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And he got to stay in town after the All-Star game, which was wonderfully put on by the Nationals, by the way. You do have to tip your cap.
Great job.
2-1 pitch. And a good cut fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. But to your point about the excitement of the All-Star game for Freeman, for Albies, for Markakis, for Fultonevich, there wasn't much rest for those 4 guys.
You know, I talked to Freddie before the game, and I said, were you able to mix in a little rest? And he kind of rolled his eyes and he said, not much. They had us on the go quite a bit.
Sharply hit toward Matt Adams. It's a race to the bag. Strasburg will get the feed and the second out.
Strasburg's made 2 starts against the Braves this year. He's 1-1. a sub-2 ERA, 14 2/3 innings, walked 2, struck out 18 coming into play tonight. I told you about him being 11-10 against Atlanta in his career. Against everybody else in the National League East, he's 34-14.
Well, he's down 2 here in the first inning. Kurt Suzuki, the Braves catcher tonight. Kurt with 6 hits against Nationals pitching this year, 2 of those home runs. And in for a strike. Shoulder inflammation was the problem for Strasburg. We'll keep an eye on his velocity as the evening progresses. He's about to make his 20th pitch. And nothing wrong with the heater there. That one at 95 miles an hour. And split the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. He got to 2 strikes in just about every Braves hitter in this inning, but couldn't finish off Acuna and Albies, and that cost him 2 runs.
Yeah, I think if there's a case of throwing too many strikes or too good a strike when you got ahead, that was the problem. There's 97. He's getting closer to more Strasburg-like numbers. Two to play with for Anibal already.
And Suzuki fouls it off his foot. Welcome to the second half, Kurt.
Just when everything's beginning to feel better.
right. Kurt's gotten on base in 11 of his last 13 games. Hasn't hit for a high average, but he's been hit by some pitches. He's taken his walks. And in harness for Sanchez in game 1 tonight. 24 pitches for Strasburg after this one. Here it is. And he'll need a 25th at least.
And you know there's going to be a pitch limit tonight for him. First start back, a couple of rehab starts, although he did, I think, get it up around 90 pitches his last time out. But he's using up a lot of them here in the first inning.
Breaking ball's popped up into shallow center. Bryce Harper is there, and he puts the squeeze on that. And the Braves very aggressively ran the bases in the first inning. Acuna with a single, a steal, and a run. Ozzie Albies an RBI double, a steal, and a run. And after 1/2 inning in game 1, Braves lead 2-0 here in Washington. Jr. got things started for the Braves in the top of the first inning. 2-0 is your score. Now it's Anibal Sanchez's turn. Again, Joe, right guy at the right time.
How about these numbers? His career numbers against the Nationals, 9-1 with a 2 ERA. This year, 10 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, but they were both unearned, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. It's still July. Why does that matter? In July, he's walked 3, struck out 18 in 18 innings. Outstanding. Check runners. Nationals are second in the league in swipes.
And with Eaton and Turner at the top of the order, keeping those guys off the bases goes a long way toward victory. Adam Eaton playing right field for Washington, batting .323 on the year, one of many Nationals racked by injury this year. He's only playing in his 38th game and is 1 for 8 against the Braves this year. That went in for a strike.
But again, they feel really good about what they can do and what they can accomplish in the last 67, 68 games because they have their team back. Now, how healthy are they? Well, we'll find out. But this guy had surgery on his ankle to finally correct the problem he was having. He's on an uptick in terms of how he's swinging. He's 20 for his last 50. Turner on deck likewise, right around 300 lately, so they're playing much better offensively.
So from a positive standpoint for Washington, this 65-70 game sprint to the finish line, they have a lot of very good and well-rested players.
They do, provided they don't have any relapses anywhere. The guy that they've got to have step up is Bryce Harper.
Talk about Bryce Harper's issues. He's coming up third in this first inning as Sanchez turns it loose and just missed.
Anibal has not pitched in a week, but man, it was another beauty. 6 innings, a 1-run ball.
And it's yanked into the seats foul. Full count still for Eaton.
He's had a bunch of those too, Sanchez, where he's pitched well, given up 1 run, maybe 2 in 6 or 7 innings, and gotten a no decision. And yet he's still 4-2.
And it's taken high, ball 4. No swing. And Eaton's aboard. He walks for the 11th time, and Sanchez immediately to the stretch against Dave Martinez and this Nationals Toyota starting lineup. You've got Turner, Harper, Rendon, then Soto, Matt Adams, the former Brave. Daniel Murphy is back. He's gotten hot all of a sudden with Wieters back and Steven Strasburg 8th and 9th. So that Ford key of checking the runners in play immediately for Sanchez with Eaton at first and Trey Turner the batter. I'd recall that entering this season, Turner was among the best and brightest Braves killers of any opponent. This year, however, it's a different story. He has 8 hits and 42 at bats against the Braves so far in 2018.
They've had some success up in the zone too. They've gotten him to chase.
That makes sense. Turner struck out 81 times. Second most to Bryce Harper on the Nationals lineup card tonight. And a big swing there, didn't get it. A ball and a strike. Keep you updated on the Phillies score. They're hosting San Diego tonight. Braves a half game behind the Phillies in the East. San Diego's put 3 on the board against Jake Arrieta in the opening inning. Braves got 2 against Strasburg in their first turn. Now Turner, a 1-1 pitch. It's a bunt. And Sanchez will shovel to first, and just in time. That'll go as a sacrifice. Turner out by an eyelash at first. Eaton at second for Bryce Harper.
Well, that's very unusual for the Nationals this early in the ball game to be trying to move a runner along, and that was a close play with Turner's speed.
So here's Harper. The power numbers are good. The on-base percentage is good. A lot of strikeouts, but Joey's hitting .214.
And just a $180 over his last month.
There are some in town who are hoping that his home run derby victory will get him going in the second half.
Might inspire him to get going again. Braves have a shift on for him.
Harper's got 6 hits against the Braves in the first 10 games this year, head to head. The pitch is lined over second into right field, a base hit. Markakis gets to it cleanly, and Bryce Harper starts his second half with a clean single to right, and runners at their corners for Rendon, and only 1 out.
And that's what Dave Martinez and the Nationals want to see. More base hits. They don't want to see less or fewer homers. They just want to see a few more hits. He covered that outside pitch pretty well there.
So Harper and Freeman, the first round combatants in the home run derby, talking that over, as Sanchez has Rendon up there riding an 8-game hitting streak. Rendon at .285 with 45 runs batted in. See if Anibal can get him to double up. Swing and miss. Rendon has ground into 3 double plays.
Interesting to see him hitting cleanup too. He's usually second, third.
Anything interesting you pointed out before the game, Matt Adams is starting today, left-hand hitter. Ryan Zimmerman activated but not in the lineup.
Yeah, I was really surprised at that. Zimmerman's numbers against Sanchez aren't all that great, but still, why activate him if you're not going to play him?
1 ball, 1 strike. And taken low.
Maybe he's good for 1 at bat, but not necessarily 3 or 4 as he comes back from an oblique injury.
And maybe we'll find that out tomorrow. Sean Newcomb, a left-handed starter, will pitch for Atlanta. Gio Gonzalez will go for the Nationals. So leadoff walk to Eaton. Turner sacrificed him to second. Harper singled to right. Now Rendon the batter with a 2-1 count. Right on by, 92 miles an hour. Runner at first, Harper goes. The pitch is low. The throw to second late. Throw to the plate, high and away. And the Nationals steal a run. So they take advantage of 2 long throws by the Braves defense. Eaton comes home. It's a 2-1 game.
Throw was well off the mark at second base. It was tough for Ozzie to catch, spin, and throw, and second base umpire Chris Conroy was kind of in his line of sight too as he spun to throw.
So both the Braves and Nationals running on the bases early in the game. Now 2-1 your score. Rendon with a full count has Harper at second and still only 1 out. And popped out of play into what will be a sellout crowd before the night is done tonight.
There's another look at Albies as he makes this play and spins. I mean, he's right in the face of Conroy. May not have even been able to see home plate.
Line to left and foul. We'll do it again.
Got to keep an eye on Harper. He had a huge lead.
Soto on deck. Rendon proving to be a tough out, as he has been so often for the Braves.
And he's been on a roll, hitting 8 in a row. However, his next hit against Anibal Sanchez will be his first in his career against him.
And he's about to see a 9th pitch.
There's a good step off by Sanchez. He made Harper stop as he was getting his lead.
And a swing and a miss. There's that big lollipop. And Rendon is still hitless against Sanchez. 0 for 10 in his career, and that's a big second out.
70 miles an hour and a beauty. He had been on everything else.
So here's Soto. This young man making a strong push for the Rookie of the Year. He leads all National League rookies in batting average, on base percentage, and on base plus slugging. 9 homers, including a couple at Yankee Stadium, which opened everybody's eyes. No balls, 1 strike. One thing that we have seen from Soto is he will not do an awful lot of chasing. He will take his walks. He's walked 33 times and struck out just 41 times.
It's pretty unusual for a 19-year-old, wouldn't you say?
So 2 close pitches off the plate. He didn't even offer at them. And a ball behind in the count. And got that one called. Generous strike there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a ball ready with pitch number 27. And that one missed up and away, full count. Matt Adams, the former Brave, waiting on deck. And time was called.
That was a late call given to Soto.
There's another walk. 2 in the inning for Sanchez. That is very rare. He walked only 19 men all year coming into play. As you said, Joe, it's been a while since he's been on a big league mound.
It's been a week, but he'd only walked 3 in 3 starts in July this month and 2 here in the first inning.
Matt Adams and Mark Reynolds have been godsends for the Nationals. Terrific lefty-righty hitting first base tandem. Adams with 15 homers, a .288 batting average.
Has never faced Sanchez before.
Pitch number 30 of the inning was swung at late.
Both the walks to left-handed hitters were on pitches. Looked like he was trying to throw that 2-seamer to make it back up over the inside corner and didn't get the movement he wanted.
Popped up. Nick Markakis in right field, plenty of room, and that is that. Washington cashes in a leadoff walk. They get a run back. After one, Atlanta leads 2-1. Question is, what's the biggest key for the Braves to win the National League East? Tweet us at Fox Sports Braves using the hashtag NL East Race, and your tweet could be read on the Braves Live post-game show. I'd be interested, Joe, in your thoughts on that tweet question. What do you think is the Braves' biggest key with 68 games left?
I think I'm going to stick with what I had said a couple of weeks ago, and that is that they need some bullpen depth. Preferably especially with Vizcaino on the disabled list, somebody at the end of the game that would move everybody down an inning and make the bullpen that much deeper. In other words, guys that are pitching the 7th and 8th right now be pitching the 6th and 7th, let's say. That is certainly a need, in my opinion.
And some of that need is predicated by the Braves starters have not taken the ball into the 6th or 7th inning very often. When they do that, the Braves are a whopping 32-12 when their starter goes 6 or more innings. Let's hope Sanchez can have an easier time as Johan Camargo golfs one to first. Adams thought about flipping to Strasburg, who was late to the bag, but Matt gets there ahead of Johan for out number 1 in the 2nd inning.
Well, we pointed out at the beginning of the show, going into the break, the Braves had lost 8 of 11 games. Over those 11 games, the starters' ERA was almost 5.5. So they were, they're running out in fumes too heading into the break. They needed an extra few days off, and with still 11 days left before the trading deadline, you got time to kind of assess and see for Alex and his staff to see, how everybody's pitching, how they feel. If they have a little stamina back, they can start going deeper in the games.
Now that Brad Hand's been traded to Cleveland and Machado's been traded to the Dodgers, I would assume that's kind of shaken up the logjam as to who's available and who's
I think so.
Still out there.
I would think so. I was really surprised that Indians got Brad Hand. I knew he would come in a premium, and he did. He is a heck of a prospect. I think the number 5 prospect in baseball. Outstanding catcher. And as I understand it, a 1-for-1 deal. I don't know if there's anybody else in that.
There was one more player, Adam Simber. You remember the side lining, the side armor?
Yeah.
So, boy, the Indians have a lethal bullpen to go along with a rotation anchored by Corey Kluber.
And they needed some help in their pen.
Ender is the Braves hitter with 1 out and a fly ball to straightaway center. Bryce Harper drifts back and has plenty of room. Deepest part of the park retires Inciarte, who's now 1 for his last 14. We'll talk about Ender his next time up. 2 quick outs. Dansby Swanson, the hitter, the Braves shortstop. He's on a nice roll heading into the break. 6 hits in his previous 15 times at the plate.
Yeah, that was a good sign for him. Talked to him a little bit before the game. Hoping gets off to a good start here after the break, and really not get off to, but continue what he was doing during that homestand.
Consecutive multi-hit games for Dansby before the break. First time that's happened since mid-April for the Brave shortstop. Strasburg set down 5 straight. He trails 2-1 here in the early going at Nationals Park. Another slider, that one missed. It's no secret that when healthy, Strasburg, one of the elite arms in the game. Maybe the most surprising stat about this Nationals club is their starting pitching. 32 wins and 35 losses. The rotation anchored by Max Scherzer, Gio Gonzalez, and Steven Strasburg. And Strasburg, like the Nationals, 6-6 on the year, a .500 record.
Well, a crazy number on them is since the day he got hurt, since June 8th. Their starters, the Washington Nationals starters, are 5-19 with the worst ERA in baseball, 6.26.
Hard to believe.
Oh my goodness.
As the 2-2 pitch is headed and caught on a miss. First strikeout for Strasburg. His first 1-2-3 inning. He set down 6 straight. 2-1 Atlanta.
The Nationals have underachieved a little bit considering the players that they have and the expectations coming in. So Dave Martinez felt that it was his responsibility to say something to get the team going. So they met in the center field earlier. They all took off their shirts, and there's jerseys with no last names. It just says Nationals and a number, hoping that that will get them going. Well, Braves manager Brian Snitker said, there was not much to say to my guys other than don't worry about the way you finished in the first half. If you play the game the way you started and throughout and hustle, everything else will take care of itself. So do not let the end affect you, and just get ready to go in the second half and do what you were doing to put yourself in this place in the first place. So 2 different ways of going about it. We'll see what happens. I like the way the Braves started off in this one offensively. Chip and Joe.
Hey, Paul, I agree with you, and I thought the first inning, top of the first for the Braves, was very reminiscent of the first 6 weeks of the season and how aggressive they were.
It was, and there was tons of energy in the dugout when Acuna came in and gave 5s. And then when Albie stole third base, everybody went nuts in the dugout, and that's something I don't know that they finished with that same kind of energy.
So far so good. 2-1 Atlanta. Daniel Murphy leading off for the Nationals. He's only played 28 games, coming back from microfracture knee surgery. He has come back and has gone into the All-Star break on a tear. He's got 9 hits in his last 18 tries. and has not struck out in 35 straight plate appearances.
If you can hit, you can hit. If you've got to wear a knee brace, if you got to wear a splint, Daniel Murphy can hit. So it's just probably a matter of how much pain he can tolerate, how many days in a row he can play, that sort of thing.
2-2 pitch.
We always talk about the speed of the game, and when you get to the big leagues, if you're a minor league player, it takes a while to adjust to the speed of the game. Well, it's no different for him, you know, after missing so much time and then playing some rehab in the minor leagues. You get up here, you still got to adjust, and it looks like he's catching up.
I'll be interested to see how mobile he is at second base, how much range he has. He was never the rangiest of players, even when he didn't have the knee problems. As he's worked a full count from Anibal, who threw 31 first inning pitches, and he just struck out looking. So there goes that strikeout free streak for Murphy, and a nice comeback for Anibal, his second strikeout in the game. 1 out.
Good backdoor slider or cutter, probably. He's been throwing a lot more cutters than he ever has, and that was a beauty right there.
Now he'll face Matt Wieters, another oft-injured National. He's playing in his 29th game. And he swings the first one and rips it in the right. Long run from Markakis, who plays that off the fence. Wieters trying for 2. Here comes the throw. It's off target. Not by much, and Wieters doubles with 1 out.
Wieters has been battling some leg injuries, but he jumped on that pitch, and Nick unable to cut it off. Laid it off the concrete base of the wall. Thought he had a better shot that way. Boy, Wieters not moving well at all.
No. And there's been talk around the industry that the Nationals are still somehow, some way trying to pry JT Realmuto away from Miami. And Rizzo said a couple of weeks ago that their asking price was still way too high. Don't know if that price tag will ever come down. Strasburg takes another strike. It's 0-2 to him.
Well, if they're asking prices like any others I've heard from the Marlins, it's going to be your number 1 or number 2 or both number 1 and 2 prospects. Probably begins with Soto.
Strasburg with a line drive into right field on an 0-2 pitch. Didn't see that coming. And the Nationals have the tying runner at third with only 1 out, and Eaton coming up.
It's actually not a real bad hitter. I mean, that was a little bit of close your eyes and swing and put it in play, and he did. That's his 4th hit of the year. So back to first and third.
And Eaton, the batter, he walked and stole home. 2-1 game. Washington with 3 hits. And that outside, ball 1.
Just off a little bit. Two-seamer is sinking just a little too much off the plate. Made a nice pitch though with the cutter to get Murphy.
Will Eaton have a green light? 3 balls, no strikes. He did, and it's fouled away. 3-1. The Nationals in the Eastern Division are a game under 500. They are 18-19 against their divisional foes, believe it or not. Braves far and away have more wins against the East than anybody else. There's that missed ball 4, and they're loaded up. That's 3 walks already for Anibal, and Turner the batter. And Chuck Hernandez will pop out of the Braves dugout for the first time in the second half and give Anibal a breather here.
He's walked 4 in a game this year. That was at Toronto. He went 5 innings and got beat 5-4 in that ball game. Also struck out 7. He's not missing by much, just off the edges.
So the challenge here with Turner, number one, he'll strike out a time or 2, but if you try to double him up, he's a very, very fast runner. So it'll be interesting to see what defensive strategy the Braves employ, depending on what kind of contact Turner makes, if he makes any at all. Turner laid down a bunt, a sacrifice his first time up.
It's like Anibal's going to work from the windup.
And off the end of the bat into the seats, strike 1. This has been a vexing problem for the Nationals all year long. Believe it or not, they have been a middling club with runners in scoring position, hitting in the 250s as a team. That's downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. But it's not just the at bats with runners at second and third. It's the lack of productive outs, we're told, that have really perplexed some in the Washington camp. Turner took a strike. It's 1-2.
That was a good spot. Got the call. And you're right, Chip. A strikeout here would be huge. And if they'd take a chance and go upstairs.
The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 right down Broadway. Turner took it, and there's a big second out.
2 beautiful pitches. Low and away, and then burned him in. Little cutter that came back enough for fielding Culberson. Great job by Anibal there.
And you could read Turner's lips. He said no way both of those pitches were strikes. But Sanchez got the calls, and now he's got to deal with Harper. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 1 run, Atlanta lead. Harper a single his first time up. Ground ball right to Ozzie. Backhand and the flip to second in time. And the Nationals load him up and cannot get it tied or take the lead. Anibal does it again. We go to the 3rd. baseball. Nationals Park, the center of the baseball universe on Tuesday night. As you see the Braves getting introduced to a standing boo. Nationals faithful here. Mike Foltynewicz had a very impressive inning. His first appearance as a big league all-star, and the Nationals did an outstanding job.
I thought all the Braves accounted for themselves real well, represented the Braves well. Freddie, it was so wonderful to see Freddie not change his swing in the home run derby and trying to hit everything out into the visitors' bullpen in left center. He said, I wasn't going to change my swing just for that. I gotta go with what gets me here.
So Steven Strasburg a little late to the mound as he was on the bases. Let's see if that has an effect on him, as quite obviously, Joe, the Nationals missed him dearly in rotation.
How about that shift, though? As we were talking about since June 8th, the worst ERA in baseball versus what had been the best. And arguably, I mean, on paper, you look at the names that they have for their rotation, there's very few teams that can match up with these guys. But they just have not pitched well. And the one guy that really surprises me, Tanner Roark.
Yeah.
You know, Scherzer's had a bad stretch, but you know he can bounce back.
How's Tanner Roark 3-12?
That is just crazy.
The way he usually pitches against the Braves, that's very, very surprising. So Strasburg still down a run. He's thrown 37 pitches in 2 innings. He's got Anibal Sanchez leading off and delivers strike 1. And Joe, because of their starters' problems, if there's one thing Dave Martinez, their manager, has had to endure, is a lot of fire from fans and media alike about the way he's used his bullpen. Well, he's had to go down there a lot because their starters, as you said, for the last month have been very, very ineffective.
They've got good people down there, and they've got experienced guys at the end of a game that have closed before. Their closer right now is on the disabled list, Brandon Doolittle, with a toe injury. They got Kinsler. They've got Kelvin Herrera, who they just acquired from Kansas City. Those guys all know how to close. It's not like they don't have anybody to select from.
Yeah, Madsen.
Ryan Madsen, too.
Another big arm. Yeah, so Sean Doolittle, DL, don't think we'll see him.
Doolittle, I beg your pardon.
Don't think we'll see him in this series. As we go back to the top of the order, and Ronald Acuna, he fell behind 0-2 and then singled to center, stole second, and scored on an Ozzie double. Braves have had a lot of guys leading off this year. Ozzie's done it. Acuna's done it now. Ender Inciarte, of course, is batted first. So after the break, Brian Snitker shuffling the deck, and it paid off with 2 first-inning runs. And that's off the plate. Ball 1, strike 1. Charlie Culberson is on deck. That would be Ozzie Albies' spot in the order.
You know, when I was watching Ozzie go to second base on that base hit in the first inning, I didn't see him running like we're used to seeing him run. And then when he stole third, I thought, okay, he's okay. You know, at first I thought I saw him kind of grab at the back of his leg, and I just kind of blew that off because he stole third without any trouble. I hope it's nothing like that.
Three balls and a strike. And nowhere close. Strasburg overthrew a breaking ball, and Acuna, with his 13th walk of the year, is aboard. And it will be Charlie Culberson. Ozzie Albies out of the game after 2 innings.
That would not be the way you want to start the second half.
No, sir.
With an injury to one of your key players.
So let's see what Charlie can do. He's got Acuna at first with 1 out.
Like he was going to be ready to cross over and run again. Again, Wieters good catch and throw guy. He's thrown out 7 of 20 now. 7 of 21 after the stolen base by Ozzie.
Another half step on the lead. He's going. Big jump. Throw a strike. But late.
Man, those were good jumps.
And Acuna barely held on the second base bag.
He had a hand and a foot trying to keep him on there. Great break. Oh, by fingertips.
Woo. You know what I liked about that play too, Joe? You didn't see him peeking in to see the result of the pitch. He's kept his eyes on that bag and has his second steal tonight, which doubles his season total to 4. Now Culberson behind the count with 1 out could add to the lead. It's 2-1 Braves. Ozzie Albies out of this game. And that just missed. Ball 1, strike 1. So when Culberson enters the game defensively, it'll be his 6th defensive position for the Braves. He's not played second base yet for Atlanta. We presume he'll do that in the bottom of the inning. Strasburg got that call.
Sure did. Yeah, that's assuming that he doesn't go to third and Kamar go to second, which could also happen.
Strasburg with a couple of strikeouts has Charlie behind now, 1-2. And he swung late. 3 strikeouts, 2 outs in the inning.
Let's take a look at Ozzie in the first inning when he hit that slicing double down the left field line. Was not running real hard and then took off. And right there, grimace on his face and a that's what I saw, but again I kind of just wiped it off because he stole third and then hustled home on that throw to first, remember?
Yep. And so you saw him reach in the area of a hamstring, get him out of the game before he has a chance to really do some damage. And of course we'll pass along the official word once we get it from Braves PR. So Albies out of the game. Freeman in the box. 2 outs. Acuna at second, and an awkward swing by Freddie has him behind 0-2.
Well, I'll say. What a sinker that was.
Yikes.
Freddie was talking about that before the game. He throws downhill and 2-seamer kind of cuts it away from him.
Made his left wrist bark as he didn't offer it a fastball up and away. A ball and 2 strikes. Just past 8 o'clock. A lot of base runners for both clubs. Low scoring game. 2-1 though. Washington has left 5 on base. And now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strasburg just struck out the side with a walk thrown in for good measure. He sprints off the mound, down a run in the middle of our 3rd inning.
versus the Nationals from Washington, D.C., presented by Kaiser Permanente.
2-1 Atlanta. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Rendon, Soto, and Matt Adams are coming up. Charlie Culberson will play second base for Ozzie Albies, who was taken down in the top half of this inning. Rendon struck out on a 70-mile-an-hour pitch his first time up and fouled that fastball away for strike one.
From the Atlanta Braves, we just got word that Ozzie was removed for precautionary reasons due to a tight right hamstring.
So tight right hamstring is better than a strained or pulled hamstring.
Well, and even if it was strained a little bit when he was running from home to second, he could have aggravated it even more when he stole third and then scored on the ground ball.
Rendon didn't offer off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, that I hate to hang it on him being an all-star, but you don't have the same daily routine that you have when you go to the all-star game and when you are going through the PR stuff, the media stuff. The workouts aren't quite what you're used to, so having that many days where you're not really playing that much and keeping it stretched out may have kind of been a precursor to the injury. Let's hope it's minor.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's hope it's not a serious problem for Ozzie. As Rendon with a 2-2 pitch coming from Sanchez. And a pop-up left side. Dansby broke in for a moment, now drifts out. He says he's got it, and he does for the first out. So 1 away. Here's Soto. He walked in the opening inning. Soto was ranked as the #2 offensive prospect in the Nationals organization. Oscar Robles is the first. Robles tore up his shoulder making a diving catch in a minor league game earlier this year. Otherwise, he might have been the guy getting the call to the bigs. They're not Juan Soto. Soto was the rookie of the month for June. His first big league hit was a 3-run homer against the Padres. And they know how to give those up. They just gave up a 4-run lead as Carlos Santana hit a 3-run homer in the third inning for the Phillies, who now lead 7-4. And ball 2.
Offensively, the Nationals 10th in average, 9th in runs scored, but 5th in homers and on base percentage.
Little cat and mouse action with Sanchez and Soto here. Matt Adams lurking on deck. 3 balls and a strike. That's fouled off his foot. Absolutely perfect night in Washington. 82 degrees at first pitch. And another late time granted by Field and Culberson.
Second time Soto's done that.
To left, but a terrific jump by Acuna, who held on a snow cone catch at the line in left. That almost came out of his glove. 2 outs.
That was just dying out there. Acuna was tracking it, but then it just died. Lucky to hang on to that.
Yikes. A strike to Adams, who flat out to right. That ended the Washington first.
That hit in the pocket and squeezed all the way out to the edge.
I like a snow cone just as well as anybody else, but that's a little too, too exciting.
Ain't mine great.
In a one-run game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mets are in action tonight. They're beating the Yankees in the Bronx 4-0. Here's the score in New York. I think the Mets are going to be an intriguing team with 11 days to go in the deadline. Are they going to blow it up, or are they going to say, all right, we're going to stick with Madsen, Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Wheeler and build for 2019? The 2-2 pitch is hammered toward right, and Matt Adams has just tied this game. Number 16 makes it a 2-2 game.
These big guys, you can fade it away, and then think you can come in. And if you make any kind of mistake at all, they're still going to make you pay no matter how you've set it up. Hooked it right around the pole.
So a 2-out solo home run makes it a 2-2 score, and Murphy, the batter, he struck out his first time up.
8th home run allowed by Anibal.
And just like that, it's 0-2 for Murphy. One more note on the Mets. They got Yoenis Cespedes back tonight. He can DH, and he's actually been playing some first base in his rehab games. That might be where he remains the rest of the year for the New York Nationals. The pitch popped up left side, and Camargo at the bag in foul ground has plenty of room. And that is that. A 2-out solo homer for Matt Adams ties the game. Nick Markakis leads off for Atlanta as we go to the 4th. Three innings. Let's take a look at tonight's Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Joe, we know all about the blazing fastball of Stephen Strasburg, but he is not a one-pitch pitcher.
No, but I like this matchup here. You know, the Braves don't strike out much. Their swing and miss rate is the lowest in the National League. And since the beginning of last year, he's got the highest swing and miss rate of any pitcher. So it's a good matchup for these two ball clubs. And he's 11-10 lifetime. He's 1-1 this year against them. So I guess it's kind of whose turn is it to win?
Hopefully it's Atlanta's.
Yeah.
As the fourth inning starts with the fourth place hitter Nick Markakis, who bounced out to Matt Adams in his first turn. And that missed low, a slider, ball one.
Yeah, he's got a curveball, slider. You know, that two-seamer is something that he didn't throw too much of earlier in his career. But he'll run it away from lefties.
Nice one hop stop by Wieters, ball two.
And he's got, I mean, he's 90-51 in his career with a 3.10 ERA.
Strasburg gave up 2 runs in the first inning, has allowed 1 base runner since. And that was a walk to Acuna.
But I go back to, what was it, his first or second year in the big leagues, where the Nationals and his agent decided he had pitched enough and sat him down thinking they had it made to get to the postseason, and it all backfired on him. If you've got a chance to go to the postseason, if you've got a team that's in the running, in the hunt, man, you got to go for it, don't you?
Yeah, that was
with a guy like him.
Yeah, the proverbial innings limit.
Yeah.
And it hasn't stopped Strasburg from getting hurt. You can understand the care, as this one's grounded right at Murphy, who surrounds it and throws him out, 1 down. But yeah, that was one that I think, if the Nationals had to do over again, might rethink it, because they haven't gotten out of the first round.
Yeah, there's no guarantees that anybody's going to come back and be that successful the next year.
Eric Suzuki with 1 out is our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber feature, a former National.
Boy, outstanding average. Chip told you 6 for 17 on the year, with 2 homers this year against them coming into play.
Down and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Well, for all that was said about Steven Strasburg and his durability, his, as you said, the agent driven decision to have him sit out and not pitch in the playoffs, the 72 and sunny reputation that he had sometimes. I will say this, I watched him pitch against the Chicago Cubs live in the ballpark, and Steven Strasburg was as good as he ever was in that series against the Cubs. He gave him everything he had and more.
That's just it. There's no questioning his ability. That's why I'm reading those numbers about his wins and his career ERA. You got to go for it. I mean, what kind of signal did that send to the team, to your teammates? How do you walk in the same locker room and say, yeah, I'm not playing anymore? And I'm not saying that he did, but other people decided for him, perhaps.
And he didn't play. I mean, that's the ultimate end result.
Yeah.
And again, the Nationals have endured so many great seasons here in the regular season, and the endured part is the agony of getting knocked out in the first round year after year after year.
Can you imagine anybody suggesting that Tom Glavine or John Smoltz not pitch? You know, we're going to shut you down, even though we think we've got a chance to get to the postseason and beyond.
I think there would have been a fight.
Oh, there would have been. There would have been blood flying everywhere.
Well, ultimately, the Nationals did what they thought was in the best interest of their organization, the best interests of Strasburg. Hindsight being 20/20, from that standpoint, that decision has not worked, because there haven't been championship flags flown here.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Best interest of who? Who did you say first?
Of Strasburg.
Strasburg. Did you say the team? Because I don't think that was in the best interest of the team, if that's what you said.
Well, I think what they were saying is, we want to make sure that this guy is going to be as healthy as he possibly can because of those innings limits.
Yeah.
That was their estimation. As this one smoked toward the gap in right center, and that's going to get all the way to the scoreboard and bounce off it. Kurt Suzuki continues his good work against Strasburg. He's got a ringing double with 1 out. There's the first Atlanta hit since the first inning. The second Atlanta double tonight. And the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Another fastball. Outer third. Great swing by Kurt. One would suppose that if anybody enjoys 3 days off or 4, it would be the catchers.
Yes. So the key man in the innings, Johan Camargo, he too bounced out to first in the second inning. Right guy at the right time. Since June 1st, nobody has more RBIs for the Braves than Johan, who has 24 of them in that stretch. And 39 in total for the year. Strasburg ahead of him quickly. No balls, 2 strikes. Went upstairs and in, and Camargo wisely took it. 1-2.
Well, that was a good pitch and a great take.
Line drive into right center field. That's going to get down. Camargo comes through. Harper cuts it off. Johan to second. He'll slide in. Back-to-back doubles for Atlanta, and the Braves are back in front.
Love it when the team comes back like that after giving up the lead. Get the lead back for their pitcher. That was a mistake upstairs. Looked like maybe a changeup. And a good swing by Johan to get him in for Camargo's 40th RBI. Pulled his hands in to get the barrel to it.
So the Braves lead again. Here's Ender. Ender has endured a 7 for 43 July at the plate. This is his 13th game this month. He didn't play in the finale against Arizona. It was against Patrick Corbin, a left-handed pitcher, and that's where Ender's problems at the plate really have been most noticeable. He's hitting just .208 against lefties after hitting nearly .300 against them last year. A soft ground ball to second gets the runner to third, but it costs Atlanta a second out. And now Swanson, the batter, with the pitcher on deck. See if they give Dansby anything to hit.
Yeah, I just hope Ender's okay. You know, I was really looking forward for him to the days off. He's now won for his last 23, thinking that that would kind of kickstart him, rejuvenate him going into the second half. Hopefully it will.
Well, he's been dropped to 7th on the lineup card, and the Braves have really worked overtime to try to find a spot where he can get hot and stay hot. Ender's batted 1st, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th for the Atlanta offense this year. That's pretty amazing.
Okay, this at bat for Dansby. It's ahead in the count. You know you got the pitcher on deck. Well, we'll have to wait after a visit from pitching coach. But you know the pitcher's on deck. They don't have to pitch to you. But at the same time, if you're Dansby, you want to expand your strike zone a little bit. You want to drive that runner in. Even if you have to go after a pitch, it might be a little bit out of your zone, east and west, in or out.
Got a question for you. Did Derek Lilliquist and Mike Maddox just trade apartment leases?
Yeah, probably. Maybe uniforms too.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know about the uniform thing, but yeah, they may have.
Mike Maddox, the longtime pitching coach here, now in St. Louis with the Cardinals, and now Washington goes ahead and passes Dansby. They'll intentionally walk him and bring up Anibal Sanchez.
I wondered why they were messing around with that. Good place here for Sanchez's first hit.
And the ball struck out his first time up, but he's got the lead again. And a cue shot rolls foul. Strike one.
Dansby bluffed like he might be going. If you're going to steal with 2 out and the pitcher up, you better get a good jump.
He's going. Swing and a miss, and Wieters wisely put that in his back pocket. That's exactly how Washington stole a run. Throw through to second base, brought home Eaton on a double steal. So Sanchez behind 0-2, but 2 runners in scoring position now after Swanson pilfered his fourth base.
There are a lot of times where the pitcher comes to the plate, nobody on, maybe 2 out in the inning, where it becomes somewhat of a formality. Not so here. Their focus, their attention gets ramped up. Just trying to put it in play.
Strike 3 outside corner. Sanchez will want that pitch when he goes to work with the lead in the bottom of the inning. He's got the bottom of the order coming up after Suzuki and Camargo with some doubles magic. They put the Braves back in front. It's now 3-2 in game 1 in D.C.
Xfinity delivers the fastest internet with the best in-home Wi-Fi experience. By Delta Airlines. And by Synovus, the bank of here.
Braves 3, Nationals 2, home fourth coming up. Anibal Sanchez late to the mound. He made the last out in the top of this fourth inning. Sanchez looking for his 5th win. The Braves try to hand Strasburg his 7th loss on his 30th birthday tonight. And Anibal will start with Wieters, Strasburg, and then Adam Eaton. Talked a lot about what's left on the slate for the Braves in the second half of the season. It's not going to be an easy go for Washington to try to come back and pass 2 clubs in this divisional race. They've got 4 games with the Reds, 7 with the Cubs, 7 with the Cardinals, 9 with the Phillies, 6 with Milwaukee. And the cherry on top of the sundae for the Nationals, their final 3 games as Wieters drives one to left. Acuna to the track, leaps before he gets to the wall and makes the catch.
That ball jumped that way.
1 out on 1 pitch.
What's that cherry?
You know, at the end of the year, you're fighting like crazy for playoff positioning. As you see the long running catch, pitchers are tired, teams mentally tired. Washington Nationals' final 3 games of the year are in Colorado against the Rockies.
Hot dog. Wow.
Talk about tough duty. So that's what's ahead for Washington and Davey Martinez in September. A line drive speared by Anibal, and he'll flip to first for the second out.
That was going to be another hit for Strasburg. Nice play by Sanchez. He could use a real quick inning. 3 pitches already. And another out here on Eaton early. That'd be a real welcome inning for Sanchez.
Let's see if he can make him swing the bat. Eaton's walked twice, scored once.
You and I were talking earlier, though, that's not necessarily the case for the Phillies. Phillies' remaining schedule.
Yeah, they supposedly have the easiest remaining schedule of any team in the East, with the half-game lead over the Braves at the moment. But the wind must be blowing out of the Phillies radio booth tonight, because it's a 7-5 game in the 4th. And the Padres continue to threaten against Jake Arrieta. Go Padres. The pitch. He was fouled back, 0-2.
They find themselves here after the All-Star break, kind of like where the Braves were a couple of weeks ago, where the Nationals and Phillies were playing each other, and a chance for the Braves to gain some ground on somebody, while they were playing, I think, Cincinnati and Baltimore. It didn't work out as well as the Braves had hoped.
A little low to Eaton. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss, and it is that easy inning you were calling for, partner. 3 up, 3 down. First one of those for Sanchez. He did that on just 7 pitches. Braves to add on to a 3-2 lead as we head to the 5th inning. Top of the order coming up. Acuna, Culberson, and Freddie Freeman. If you're just joining us, we'll explain the Culberson part of this first trio due. And a line drive on the first pitch to left. That's going to roll to the wall, and Acuna's going to have a leadoff double. He's been on base 3 times. I think he likes hitting first, Joe.
Me too.
I like him hitting first. 2 hits, 2 stolen bases, a walk, and now a double.
Something inside, running in, turned on it beautifully. It's just kind of like a change in being. You're in a different neighborhood. You're leading off instead of the game already kind of the tone of the game perhaps being set for you by the time it gets to you batting 7th or wherever he was in the lineup, 6th. and you can have a say on setting the tone for the game, which he did tonight.
Culberson with a bunt. It's a beauty. Strasburg got to it late and safe. A surprise party thrown by Charlie Culberson, who bunts safely for a single, and the Braves have first and third, nobody out.
Strasburg followed through to the first base side. Watch this. So now he's really in a bad spot to try to come out and get this. We already told you about Wieters not moving well. This was all going to be on Strasburg to make the play. Nice bump.
So Charlie subbing for Ozzie Albies, who left after 2 innings for precautionary reasons because of a right hamstring problem. Now Freeman the batter, first and third, nobody out. Freddie has an RBI that drove in Ozzie in the first inning. Great chance for the Braves to add on. Good rip.
All over that one.
And your point, Joe, about Strasburg, he has excellent stuff, but he is leaving stuff right down the middle in this first half of the game.
Yeah, it's funny. His mistakes were down the middle, and Sanchez was missing just a little off the plate that created walks.
One and two.
He has tied Freddie up with that off-speed pitch a couple of times tonight.
Good take there, evens the count. He's had a couple of hits with 2 strikes already in the game. Let's see if Freeman can do the same here. Freddie 16 for 47, 4 home runs head to head with Strasburg. And 6 RBIs against the Nationals so far in 2018.
Spoiled a good pitch.
Swing and a shot to right field, a base hit. That scores 1. Charlie around second on his way to third. He's getting waved. Freeman to second. Murphy's relay is going to be late. And all the way around to third goes Freeman. It's 5-2 Atlanta.
Wieters may be asking the Nationals dugout to take a look at that slide at the plate. Good hustle by Charlie all the way around. Oh, a big mistake upstairs, and Freeman made him pay. But on the slide at home, Charlie had kind of a 93-foot slide, is what we used to call it, where your feet are already by the plate, but your hand is getting in there. And Acuna was given a safe sign. So look at that is awesome. Oh yeah, the hand beat it in there. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. The umpire was having to call it over somebody.
Oh, it's like calling balls and strikes. Look at this. Great inside position.
I love Acuna's enthusiasm.
2-run double for Freeman. Still nobody out in the inning. Infield in for Markakis. The Braves with a 3-run lead now. And they have doubled Strasburg to death in this game. 5 of Atlanta's 7 hits are doubles. So this big crowd in Washington, after all the excitement of the All-Star break and the All-Star game, awfully quiet at the moment. as the Braves in recent vintage have solved the hex of Nationals Park. And for the first time, the Nationals bullpen is busy. Justin Miller, the first man to get up and get loose. 1-2. Nick fought it off and stays alive. Two in the first, one in the fourth, two so far in the fifth. Nobody out in this inning for the Braves offense. And 2-2.
His next pitch will be number 90. See if that's a line in the sand. If he had a limit.
Well, you know, you made your point earlier about how the Braves have given Strasburg so much trouble. He's had 14 games of 3 or fewer innings pitched in his career. He's gone 4 complete tonight. Of those 14 games of short work, 5 of them have come against the Braves for various reasons.
Yeah, it just. They're the team that gives him the most trouble, obviously. Every player, every pitcher has got somebody that they have trouble with.
Good at bat by Markakis so far. Full count pitch. Fly ball center. That'll chase Harper back. That'll be plenty deep enough. There's the catch. Freeman will tag, give Markakis his 62nd RBI, and the Braves have 3 across in the 5th inning. It's a 6-2 game.
Doesn't this feel like a flashback? I mean, productive outs, moving guys over, getting clutch hits with runners in scoring position, stealing bases. This is the Atlanta Braves team we watched the first 2 months of the season.
Yeah, during that stretch of 8 losses in 10 games that you mentioned earlier, Braves had 1 sacrifice fly in those 10 games. 1. Markakis has the first for the Braves in the first 5 innings tonight. So it's 6-2 Atlanta. Kurt Suzuki has one of those 5 Atlanta doubles. He scored run number 3 last inning. And bounced foul. 0-2. Acuna doubled on the first pitch. Culberson with a bunt single. Freeman with a 2-strike 2-run double. Markakis with a sacrifice fly. And Kurt didn't get that. He's down swinging. 6 strikeouts for Strasburg. And there's the second out. Big hit by Johan Camargo his last time up. I think he and Freeman hit a pitch in similar locations. Both pitches were up. And Johan fought it off.
I think Johan's was a changeup. Freddie's was a fastball, but same general spot.
Little pop into shallow center. Harper coming on, won't get there. A 2-hit game for Camargo.
Thing of beauty.
And even lovelier is that's the end of the line for Strasburg. 98 pitches. And Miller's going to come on, and the Braves will try to feast on him tonight. The Braves tag Steven Strasburg for 6 runs tonight, 5 doubles. And it's an unhappy 30th birthday for the Nationals right-hander. Braves in command, looking for more. Went to the dugout and was greeted by Max Scherzer a moment ago.
You don't often see a guy get knocked out of the game and jog off. I don't know the last time was I saw that. But then when he got to the dugout, it was not just the warmest of greetings here. As Max Scherzer wheels. And they got after it a little bit here. And Strasburg got up, said, "I'm not listening to this." And Max followed him right down the tunnel.
And so did Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach. So all's not happy in the Nationals dugout as Justin Miller takes over. He's 5-1. Former Tiger, former Rocky. And a snap throw to first. We saw Miller pitch against the Braves. He had a 3-inning stint, if memory serves. And pitched great. Didn't give up a run.
Sinker, slider, fastballs in the low 90s. When I saw him come set there, it reminded me of how well he hides the baseball.
Six runs on 8 hits for the Braves. Strasburg has been chased. Miller ready. And time call.
Good spot here for Ender to break out.
It's up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. As I mentioned a little while ago, Ender's batted 1st, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th for the Braves this year. And he's hitting 7th in front of Dansby and is 0 for 2. And up and away from Miller. Ball 2.
Nine walks to 41 strikeouts for Miller, and he's surprisingly behind 2-0 in his first batter.
Well, that can't be a comfortable at bat, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. When a relief pitcher takes his set position and you can read both numbers and his whole name from your spot in the batter's box. I mean, he is as pointed toward the Braves dugout as you can be.
And he's way over on the third base side of the pitching river, too.
You saw that late reaction by Ender as that one missed badly. It's ball 4 and the inning continues. Dansby Swanson will be the 8th man to hit. Dansby has struck out and was intentionally walked. Couple of flyers aboard for Atlanta with 2 outs. A 3-run inning so far. Derek Lilliquist is back from the tunnel. No sign of Strasburg or Scherzer. As Miller throws a strike on a slider. 0-1 to Dansby.
Thought I saw Michael Buffer here before the game. He may have to go down there and
swing and a high fly ball toward left. Soto tracks and catches shy of the warning track in left. What an inning for Atlanta. Acuna doubled. Culberson a bunt single, and then Freddie Freeman with a 2-run double, a back-breaking blow. A Markakis sac fly later, and Atlanta now with a 6-2 lead halfway home in D.C.
Up 6-2 in this one. Well, as a starting pitcher, one of the hardest things to do is when you do not feel that you did your job coming out of the game and giving 5 to your teammates who want you to be a good team player. It's not easy, but you got to do it. Steven Strasburg coming out of the game not wanting to give anybody attention, so Max Scherzer would show some leadership and get on him a little bit here and talking about certain things. Now, I really like how Strasburg got up and didn't want to do this in front of everybody, went back in the tunnel. Scherzer and the pitching coach followed him, guys. They're trying to come out with this team atmosphere. That didn't look too great.
Trey Turner on the first pitch hits a long home run down the line and left. So his second homer of the year against Atlanta cuts the lead to 6-3. And with Harper, Rendon, and Soto coming up, got to batten down the hatches right here and hopefully shut him down the rest of the way.
Like one that was running into him. Fastball might have even been a little bit inside, but he got through it. And right down the foul pole. 2 home runs tonight. One low that hooked around the right field pole by Adams, and that high pop-up.
And now Bryce Harper, the batter, takes a strike. So Washington gets one of those runs back. They're still down 3 with Harper in the box.
You know, Trey Turner is such a great athlete. I don't know if he's what you would call a great hitter yet by any means. And I know he got off to a slow start, but it's almost sad in a way that he's only hitting 267 with his wheels. He can bunt, he can hit and run, he can put the ball in play and get a lot of infield hits. I wonder, and I don't know this, I'm just curious, he's got what, 12 homers now? I wonder if that's more in his head than putting the ball in play with all those strikeouts you mentioned earlier.
Launch angle revolution, man.
Yeah.
Served him well on that pitch.
Yep.
As Harper awaits a 2-2, that struck him out looking. Sanchez gets the outside corner. It's been a generous corner for both pitchers, Strasburg and Sanchez, tonight. And Bryce Harper's retired for the second time. One in, one out.
Good frame job there by Kurt. Fifth strikeout on a ball.
And number 103 for Bryce Harper, who struck out a grand total of 99 times last year and hit 319.
Is that right? He's already passed his strikeout total.
Yep.
Wow.
He also had 29 homers, drove in 89, and hit 319.
That everybody said was an off year that year.
Yeah, right.
And he hit 319.
So here's Rendon. He's 0 for 2. Sanchez struck him out on a 70-mile-an-hour breaking ball in the first inning. Rendon popped up back in the third. And he's a little late. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rendon could have been a Brave. Atlanta drafted him. Couldn't come to terms on a contract after they selected him. He instead went to Rice, then became a #1 pick of Washington. And this guy is a terrific player.
Sure is. He got a summer cut. He had some long hair earlier in the year.
Yeah, he looked like he was the lead guitarist of an 80s hair band in his bio photo. But that haircut does not make him Samson-like. 25 homers, 100 driven in last year, hit 300, 41 doubles, played 147 games. On a team that has so many superstars, I think he might be their most underappreciated player. As he just struck out looking, Sanchez is painting all of a sudden. Back-to-back strikeouts after the homer.
Another borderline pitch. Watch Kurt work. Hold it there for Field and Culberson. He didn't have to do as much with that one. That was a good pitch.
And the ball has to get the third out of the 5th inning to qualify for the win. As he goes to work with Soto, and ball to strike.
He's got that zeroed in a little bit better now. That 2-seamer working it away.
And a little slow roller back to the mound. Another easy inning for Anibal. He got him on 7 pitches in the 4th. Not many more than that in the 5th. He gives up the homer, and he has the Nationals shaking their heads again, enjoying a 6-3 lead. Atlanta. And Anibal Sanchez will face Miller, who will try to pitch a complete inning for the Nationals. And that's taken upstairs. That has to be a incredibly bitter series opener in Milwaukee tonight. Not only do they have the high-flying Dodgers in town, as Miller delivers. It was rumored that the Brewers were next in line for the services of Manny Machado, so they don't get him. The Dodgers do, and the Dodgers are the first team in town to face Milwaukee, which has a 6-game losing streak coming out of the break, and already down 1-0 at Miller Park.
Yeah, how about Milwaukee going into Pittsburgh, 4-game series plus another game for a doubleheader that they had to make up, and losing all 5 games after beating the Braves 3 out of 4.
Yeah. As Tom Haudricourt put it in the Milwaukee paper, the first half was just a week too long.
Yeah.
For the Brewers, who, when we saw them, were maybe as impressive as any club we'd seen, and that included the Yankees.
Yeah, they looked really good. And they are still good.
Yeah.
They're just in a rut.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes for Anibal. 6-3 Atlanta. And he puts it in play to short. And he will be the first out. So the first chance for Trey Turner is handled cleanly, and we go back to the top of the order, where Ronald Acuna Jr. has broken out in a big way in his first assignment at the top of the Atlanta batting order. A single, a double, a walk, 2 stolen bases, and 2 runs. Look out, Ricky Henderson. Here comes Ronald Acuna Jr.
He shows such great reaction and emotion, and that's part of his charisma, I think, because he's so genuinely happy when something good happens, like when Culberson beat out that bunt, and his reaction at third, and then of course when Charlie scored.
Broken bat grounder to Murphy, who had his man played perfectly. Close play at first. 2 outs. I love what you said about Ozzie and Acuna earlier in the game. There is such obvious youth, but youthful exuberance and a youthful innocence about the way that they play that you just never know what's going to happen when those 2 guys are between the white lines.
And what they can do early in a ball game to put the opponent behind, but put the pitcher on notice that they've got to pay attention to them.
So Charlie Culberson, the batter. Key play in this game was his bunt in the 5th inning. After Acuna doubled, Charlie laid down a perfect bunt that really shocked the Nationals, and it might have set the stage for the big 3-run inning. Freeman drove in 2. Nick Markakis brought Freddie home with a sac fly. And Culberson pressed into duty after Ozzie Albies left after 2 innings for precautionary reasons, because of a hamstring issue on his right leg that crept up after he doubled in his first at bat tonight. Fly ball well hit left. Soto going back, still going to the wall. That baby's out of here. This unbelievable ride for Charlie Culberson continues, subbing for Ozzie Albies. He's scored 2 runs tonight.
His first home run since June 19th at Toronto. Slider inside, stayed on it, and into the bullpen. Great bunt, great swing.
And now roller right side. Adams shovels to Miller, who got to the bag an eyelash ahead of Freddie Freeman, and that retires the side. Sweet 16, Charlie Culberson with a solo homer. It's 7-3 Atlanta. Bottom 6, it's Anibal Sanchez and the Braves up 7-3 here in game 1. Matt Adams, Daniel Murphy, Matt Wieters, then the pitcher spot coming up. Charlie Culberson, the man of the hour, with a solo home run a moment ago to extend the Atlanta lead. Braves have 7 runs on 9 hits. And this the telltale inning for the Braves so far in 2018. When a starter goes 6 innings or more, the Braves have won 32 games and lost just 12. And Anibal Sanchez has been that guy of late, Joe, that's gone 6 or more just about every time out.
That's why I said earlier it's hard to believe he's only got 4 wins, because there have been a lot of games where he's pitched 6 innings or more and given up 1 run and had nothing to show for it.
Oh, that got away, but Adams didn't recognize it, and the peg to first in time for out number 1.
Another 69-mile-an-hour beauty.
You made a point earlier about Steven Strasburg, about there's always a team that, for whatever reason, you just don't have much luck against. Conversely, the baseball gods often say to a player or a pitcher, there's a team that you can really just throw your glove out there and you got a chance to win.
Own them, yeah. And he is 9-1 in his career against the Nationals/Expos. Ryan Dempster and Josh Johnson each finished their careers 9-1 against this franchise.
And they were all Marlins at one point.
Yeah.
Liner foul and out of play. And speaking of the Marlins, that's who we'll see starting Monday night down in Miami. Marlins are winning tonight in Tampa 4-1 in the Sunshine Series. The pitch. Perfectly placed, 1-2. And he's a different guy after the first couple innings.
No, he's just kind of got his bearings almost. The release point, everything he's kind of got honed in, so he's hitting the right spots again. You know, Daniel Murphy's knee that he had the microfracture surgery on is his right knee. Watch this. No stride, but he really has to bend and take some of the torque off that knee with a swing.
But he can still do that. Yep.
Like I said earlier, he can hit. 1 leg or 2, he can hit.
So Murphy's aboard for the first time.
Moving okay, and he's fielded his position okay. Just wonder about, again, what kind of pain he can tolerate.
But you know, you think about this club, Washington, that is, as Wieters is the batter. Wieters isn't moving well at all. Eaton is somewhat tentative the way he's moving in the outfield, and his legs are a big part of his game. You mentioned Murphy and his issues. Ryan Zimmerman is on deck. He's coming back from an oblique problem. This is not necessarily a young Nationals team, and you wonder how healthy can they stay now over the final 2+ months of the year. First of all, they have to get healthy, but can they stay healthy?
Yeah, and you know, at least on appearances, it looked like they were ready to put all their horses on the field and get going beginning tonight. Activating Zimmerman, but not starting him. And playing literally the first 2 months of the season without Murphy, waiting for him to come back.
And that's the one thing a manager can't help, and that's health. You can talk about pitching moves, you can talk about lineup construction, you can talk about defensive positioning all you want, but if your horses aren't able to play, and most of their starters haven't, and then the ones you have don't perform, pretty fortunate for Washington. They're 48-48 on the year. It's because Max Scherzer got off to such a fantastic start for them in rotation, and then when he started getting no decisions and the Nationals started losing games he was pitching, to your point, Joe, about that awful run they went on, well, that's a big reason why. And Gio Gonzalez will get the ball tomorrow night. Sean Newcomb will pitch for the Braves in game 2. We're going to join you at 6:30 with Braves Live.
Yeah, what we saw when Strasburg came off the field, and whatever happened, whatever was said between he and Max Scherzer, I don't think there's any question about who the leader is on this team, at least from a pitching standpoint. That's Max Scherzer. And for him to dress down Strasburg in the dugout and then carry it on, it appeared, on into the tunnel. There's some veterans on this team like Scherzer who are not going to tolerate anything but 100% and more effort from everybody on this team, because that's what it's going to take.
Three balls, 2 strikes for Wieters, who didn't get that. A swing and a miss. Wieters down on strikes. Sanchez with his 8th. And now Ryan Zimmerman will get a big cheer as he comes on to pinch hit. Stick around for the stretch presented by Advanced Auto Parts.
Yeah, big hand for Zimmerman. He's been on the disabled list since May 10th. He's missed 57 games.
And almost no spring training for the Nationals. I think he had just a couple of spring training at bats in big league games. All of his other work was on the side, in the backfields, in minor league games. And if there is a Mr. Washington Nationals, you might be looking at him in the batter's box. Little tapper hit to the right side. Charlie's got it, hurries his throw, and got his man by a step, and that retires the side. The Braves starter Anibal Sanchez has gone 6. That usually means good things. First game after the All-Star break. Atlanta tried to push the Nationals a game further back in the Eastern standings. Atlanta's top of the order has been awfully good. Acuna, Culberson, Albies, and Freeman have scored 6 of the 7 Atlanta runs. They've chased Steven Strasburg. Joe Anibal Sanchez has thrown 6 innings of 8 strikeout ball. And so far, so good in game 1 tonight.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch and to see them come out of the blocks like they did in the first inning after the All-Star break, led by Acuna and Ozzie, who we hope is going to be okay. Got him out of the game after what appeared to be a cautionary reason for a slight hamstring issue, but now face Matt Grace here in the 7th.
29th game for Grace, part of a Nationals bullpen that has been awfully good in 2018. Grace, when he's right, excellent control, and he showed that by almost hitting Markakis with the first pitch. Grace has been very tough against left-handed batters. He's been around a long time. Braves has allowed just 3 extra base hits to a left-handed batter in his career. See if Nick can add to that total. Try is fouled at first. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Fastball, slider, and a changeup occasionally. Fastball in the low 90s.
An 8th round pick 8 years ago. And a shot to right field. Markakis continues to hit lefties solidly. And a good start to the Atlanta 7th. All reliable Nick Markakis with hit number 121 for the year.
And he extends his hitting streak 9 games.
So Kurt Suzuki, the batter, he's doubled and scored in 3 trips tonight. That one bounced up there, and Wieters couldn't do anything with it. And Markakis moves up on a ball in the dirt.
That may have come up under his mask. Not exactly your textbook way of trying to block a ball and try to block a ball in the dirt.
Ground ball to second. Productive out for Kurt Suzuki.
Nice.
Those were the things that we weren't seeing an awful lot of during that 2-3 week stretch where offense was tough to come by for Atlanta. But Kurt gave himself up. Markakis 90 feet away for Camargo, who's got a 2-hit, 1 RBI night brewing so far. Braves can play like this over their final 65 games or so. I think we'll be in.
I like the chances.
Talcott. Infield comes in for Johan. Turns around and bats right-handed here. 1 ball, no strikes. Phillies still lead 7-5. That game's in the 6th inning in Philadelphia. Braves a half game behind the Phillies in the East. Cardinals clobbered the Cubs 18-5 at Wrigley today. How about the day for Matt Carpenter? 3 homers and 2 doubles before the 6th inning.
That's a good comeback.
Yeah. And 3-0 with Ender waiting on deck. That's popped up over by the Nationals dugout and into the 3rd row seats. Sellout crowd officially 41,008 at Nationals Park. They were cheering when it was 2-2, but the Braves have outscored them 5-1 since the start of the 4th inning. And Camargo's aboard with a walk, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. And a chance for Ender to improve on his lefty troubles. These are Synovus Greatness Made Here feature.
Ender, a second-half guy, obviously. Not just last year when he had over 200 hits, but the year before as well. Minimum 2,000 plate appearances. What that is good company. Speaking of high cotton, right there with those guys.
Fly ball gets you a run. I saw the most amazing stat about Joey Votto today. We talked about it on the bus ride to the ballpark. Joey Votto has over 6,700 career at bats. He has never popped out to the pitcher, the catcher, or the first baseman in his career. There's a bunt. The shovel to the plate and the tag applied on Markakis. So into with a bunt try. Markakis tagged out. And Braves runners at first and second with 2 outs now.
That was a good bunt, but a better play by Rendon. And Nick had no place to go. That's incredible. The thing you were telling us about Votto. There was some crazy thing like that about Wade Boggs in his career, that he never fouled out to anyone.
And for a man that ate chicken every day, to not foul out is really impressive.
We'll have to get some confirmation on that one. One of those legend type things.
So first and second, 2 outs for Dansby. And off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Wade Boggs' 3,000th hit was a home run, if memory serves.
Tampa Bay.
As a Devil Ray. Right before they became just the Rays. Seven runs on 10 Atlanta hits. And a little pop headed for the first base side, but that'll leak into the seats. And a change up as Dansby in a 1-1 count. Michael Reed is on deck. Braves made room for him on the roster when they designated Danny Santana for assignment on the travel day yesterday. So Dansby can reach. We'll see Reed hit for Anibal here. He's got a 7-3 lead. We'll see Michael in the lineup tomorrow with a left-hander on the mound for Washington.
Good. Reed's put some good numbers together at AA and AAA.
That smoke toward Rendon. Race to the third base bag, and Anthony will win it. He's a real good player. Nothing doing in the Atlanta 7th, but good news. Braves lead 7-3 as we stretch in Washington. On the stretch as we head to the home half of the 7th inning in game 1. It's Jesse Biddle. What a fine Joe this guy has been.
Jesse's numbers have been really good, especially in long relief. Probably just in there for 1 inning tonight with his spot due up first in the 8th.
And he's got Eaton, Turner, and Bryce Harper. 1, 2, and 3 on the lineup card for Washington. Eaton has walked twice, struck out once, and has scored a run.
Just a .95 average against Jesse for the year.
Anibal Sanchez, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks. Those all came in the first 2 innings. He struck out 8, gave up 2 solo homers. All in all, an outstanding performance by Sanchez. And a little roller hit toward third. Camargo swipes and fires to first, 1 down.
You know, you're right about Eaton. I hadn't noticed it so much that he's not running well. Weeder's not running well. Murphy not running well. That kind of cramps your style a little bit. I realize that Eaton went all the way around and scored after a leadoff walk in the first inning, but he was taking some odd leads off first. Anibal was actually coming set, ready to throw, and Eaton still had his foot on the base, and he would start a walking lead as Anibal delivered to the plate. Almost like he was saying and showing that I get a better break if I'm already moving
Like
towards
a walking lead,
yes,
if you will?
yes, as opposed to a crossover step, which may be painful on his ankle. Not sure. Just a read on that.
Trey Turner with a home run tonight. He's going to hit a 1-hopper to the Braves shortstop, and Dansby throws him out. Biddle continues his good work. 2 up, 2 down, and now Bryce Harper the hitter. I'm sure there are a million theories as to what's ailing Bryce Harper at the plate this year. His frustration boiled over shortly before the All-Star break when he didn't run out what turned out to be a double play ball. And Bryce Harper was talked to by his manager about that. The shame of that is he's such a good player and such a role model. You hate to see him take a play off. And we've seen that a time or two from Bryce when the Braves have played the Nationals.
Yeah, and again, I think that's why the Nationals were so thrilled to see him win the home run derby, that it was like, okay, maybe it triggered something. Maybe it kick-started him a little bit.
He and Manny Machado, I suppose, are the 2 brightest stars in the free agent galaxy this offseason. And if you look at the body of this man's work, I would think, Joe, one, as we said earlier, down season for Harper shouldn't affect his value. Question is, will he stay a National, or will someone else scoop him up?
Well, it does. It speaks volumes. His home runs and RBIs are, excellent. He certainly doesn't need his agent whining about shifts and things that might be damaging his batting average.
Yeah, that certainly doesn't help the public perception.
No, it doesn't.
But truly a great player. And he swings and misses and doesn't run. He'll be tagged out, and Jesse Biddle a 1-2-3 7th inning. All Atlanta so far in Washington. at Nationals Park.
Visit Synovus for your banking, lending, and investing needs. Synovus, the bank of here.
Sellout crowd has seen the Braves come to town and take a 7-3 lead into the 8th inning. Sean Kelly is the third reliever to work behind Stephen Strasburg tonight. Kelly, a free agent signee by the Nationals after the 2015 season. This is his third year in the Washington pen.
5 walks, 30 strikeouts tells you a lot. So does a sub-200 batting average against.
And after a quick and easy 1-2-3 7th inning, Jesse Biddle is going to go ahead and hit for himself. Why not? Jesse needs to add to that 1,000 batting average if that's possible. A double against the Phillies, you might recall. And he puts this one in play. Adams near the line, close play, and almost a collision and in time.
Good hustle. Yeah, I was checking out Eric Young there. He's had a little work going on during the All-Star break. Got a little gray in that beard. But he could still run, though. What do you think?
Oh, no doubt.
You know it.
Yeah. So Kelly gets Biddle. And we go back to the top of the order in Acuna. Nationals trying to figure out a strategy to get Acuna out. It's only happened once in his 4 trips to the plate.
And Adams had a good game at first base. He's made a couple of good plays.
Matt did such a great job for the Braves last year. When the Cardinals inexplicably gave up on him, the Braves swooped in after Freddie Freeman got hurt. And Matt played just great baseball. And then when Freddie came back, tried to play third base. That didn't work. Freeman went back to first, and you didn't hear a peep from Matt Adams about losing playing time, about a change in his role. I mean, you talk about a professional guy in a walk year. That was as good as it gets. One ball, no strikes for Ronald, and there's a drive hammered deep to left field. Have yourself a night. I don't think Matt Wieters said give him a center cut pitch that he can hit out, but that's exactly what happened. And Acuna has his 8th homer. He'll score his 3rd run tonight.
If he went out there to help Kelly catch his breath after covering first, he still hasn't caught his breath. This was a low liner, hanging slider. Scorched.
So Atlanta leads it 8-3 on 11 hits.
Oh, the old cement mixer.
Oh, Wieters knew it. Don't you love a catcher's reaction? So our pal Franco Garcia, the Braves interpreter, better get the larynx ready. Might be talking to that man after the game. Ronald Acuna Jr. batting leadoff, had 4 hits in his last 30 at bats coming into action tonight. He's 3 for 4, a single, a double, a homer, and 3 runs tonight. And oh, by the way, 2 steals as well.
Yeah.
So Charlie Culberson filling in for Ozzie Albies. Struck out in the 3rd inning right after Ozzie came out of the game for precautionary reasons. Laid down a 5th inning bunt against Strasburg, and then in the 6th inning hit a homer off Miller. Top 3 spots on the lineup card have accounted for 7 of the 8 Atlanta runs.
That too was part of the recipe in the first 2 months. Top of the order, doing a lot of damage. Think he's having any fun tonight?
Wow. Downstairs, full count. Little squibber hit toward Turner. Tricky spin. And he made a nice play. Adams the scoop at first. And 2 are out. One thing we notice about Nationals Park high above in our perch. Got the beautiful view of the Capitol, but all the cranes that are surrounding this ballpark. And maybe there's a very appropriately named crane just to the left of that crescent moon. You see it? Can you zoom in? That's been good advice for the Atlanta offense tonight.
Oh, you're right. Perfect. What a beautiful moon tonight, too. Well, it looks like a airport landing strip with all the lights blinking on all the cranes over there.
Right. Freddie shifts that. Base hit. 2 for him tonight. And it is amazing in the years we've come to Nationals Park to see the renaissance of this part of downtown. This is the Naval Yards area. Big development going in beyond the right field scoreboard. All the condos and office buildings. The Museum of Broadcasting going up near the ballpark. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I'll echo what you said earlier. They did a fabulous job putting on the All-Star game, too. Pictures were gorgeous. The pregame ceremony with all the Medal of Honor winners was so special. But everything associated with it, they did a great job here.
Yeah, that got me seeing all the Medal of Honor winners, and then the flag in the pregame ceremonies. It wasn't a piece of fabric, it was people dressed in red, white, and blue. That was awesome. Soto in left hauls that in off the bat of Nick Markakis. As Ronald Acuna Jr.'s coming out party in Washington, D.C. continues tonight. It's 8-3 in the 8th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
Plus, get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone.
How about that shot? Way to go, Sean.
First pitch by Biddle is lined into left by Rendon for a leadoff single, the 7th hit for the Nationals tonight. Is Sean up there by the Nationals magic number sign? They've got one up there, you know.
I don't know.
Just above the, what do they call that? Well, the Hampton Inn, but if you pan to the left, a little further, there you go. Their magic number is only 73 to win the East again.
A lot of confidence. And I'm telling you that the Braves so far have rained on their parade tonight after that powwow they had out in right field. Everybody taking their shirts off and putting on T-shirts that didn't have names on them, just the word Nationals across the back. Had a little pep rally out there. The Braves came out and got 2 in the first, and after the Nationals tied it, went on to tack on some runs.
And had insult to injury after the 6 that Strasburg gave up. Max Scherzer gave him a pat on the back, kind of a hang in there in his first game back. Strasburg didn't like that at all. They had words on the dugout bench, and very quickly took that down the steps into the tunnel. And from the camera angle we saw, it was a very heated and prolonged discussion between Scherzer and Strasburg.
And it looked like it got real ugly.
So Scherzer back in the dugout, and he's going to pitch on Sunday against Mike Foltynewicz. I believe that's a rematch of Mike's complete game victory over Washington back in Atlanta. I believe Scherzer pitched that day. I could be wrong about that. In the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I know he had a gem against the Braves earlier this year. He's 12-5 with a 2.41 ERA and 182 strikeouts already.
And I take that back. It was Steven Strasburg who opposed Foltynewicz on June the 1st. Braves won that game 4-0. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Soto. A runner at first, nobody out. And a mile-high fly ball left center. Ender's going to go back, and that ball is in the Atlanta bullpen. So Acuna and Soto, the 2 youngest players in the game, both have homers. This one a 2-run shot, and all of a sudden this game's getting a little close for comfort. It's 8-5 now, and still nobody out.
High fastball. Big full swing. And off the wall out there in the Braves pen. Look how wide that stance is.
What's a launch angle on that baby? That ball off the bat looked like it went straight up. So Soto with 10 homers. And Matt Adams is the batter. Adams with a home run tonight. Nationals have hit 3 homers. The Braves have hit 2. And no, this is not the home run derby. That took place on Monday night. And fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 7th inning in Philadelphia. Phillies 7, Padres 5. Brewers have tied the Dodgers 1-1. 6th inning at Miller Park. Adams pops this one up right side. That ball's curling back. And Culberson is there. He went to the line and had to take a turn to the right to make that play as it had some hook to it. But Adams the first out.
Odd split on Jesse Biddle. He's given up 4 home runs this year, all to left-handed hitters.
Daniel Murphy the batter. 1 for 3 is he. A 6th inning single. I'll say this. Not walking anybody. Make him hit it. Soto hit it out with a 37-degree launch angle blast to left. Murphy a late swing, 0-2. Mets lead the Yankees 6-3. That game's in the 7th inning. Miami 6-1 over Tampa Bay. That game's bottom 9 at Tropicana Field. So that's your East in a nutshell. The 0-2 is lifted toward left. Acuna comes charging in near the line. He's going to get there with good closing speed. 2 out. And Matt Wieters, the final hope for the Nationals in the 8th. Wieters doubled in the 2nd. He's flied out and struck out. And Matt playing in just his 29th game. The Nationals club that has been crippled by injuries for much of this year. And Joe, this is a perfect start for the Braves with 5 consecutive divisional games out of the break. And as you said in our opening comments, next 3 weeks hugely important for the divisional race for the Braves.
Well, the way they've played against the East, there's no reason to think they can't keep that up. They've got a 4-game set with LA when they come home. Following that, another set with Miami, a trip to New York, and back here.
Atlanta won't see the Phillies again until the final 2 weekends of the year. Braves have the Phillies at SunTrust Park for the final 3 home games of the year, and then the final 3 games of the regular season are in Philly head-to-head. Biddle gives up the homer, nothing else, and we're off to the 9th. It's an 8-5 Atlanta game. Scored 3 runs. Let's take a look at StatCast powered by AWS.
110 mile-an-hour exit velocity. 400-foot line shot.
So nothing has burst his bubble as a leadoff man tonight. And Atlanta in the 9th inning will face Brandon Kinsler.
He's driving Camargo crazy, so Johan gets up and goes, no, wait, don't go. Now stay here.
Flaherty, too, throwing sunflower seeds at Ryan.
Yeah, they're gone. They're by himself now. This is Brandon Kinsler. He's been a closer in his career. Acquired last year by the Nationals when they were making a run toward the postseason. Great pickup for them to round out their bullpen after they also got Doolittle and Madsen.
And that really was the defining move for the Nationals around the deadline. They had such a big lead in the East that Mike Rizzo could wait until the final hours of the trading deadline to make a move, and With that flurry of trades, Kinsler, Doolittle, and Madsen, it really fixed the glaring problem that the Nationals had. Problem that was described to us as the players saying we feel like we have to win the game sometimes twice or three times a night.
Right. Well, that fixed it. This guy's also been on the disabled list this year. Just came off June 25th. Right forearm flexor strain, which is always a little scary.
And a line drive to short off the bat of Suzuki is the first out of the inning. By the way, before we get too much further, forgot to mention this. This is an historic date in Braves history. This date in 1993, the day the Braves acquired Fred McGriff. And the day that Mark Lemke and Jeff Blauser watched the press box at Fulton County Stadium burn down in that iconic photo.
Famous Walter Victor photo.
Squibber foul off the bat of Camargo. Fred McGriff hit 19 homers in 68 games for the Braves. A can of Sterno.
We can laugh about it now, but it was scary. And Fred over the head of Brian Jordan in his first game as a Brave.
Braves went 51-17 after the acquisition of Fred McGriff, and they needed every single one of those wins in the pre-wild card era. A pennant race for the ages. As this one's hit high in the air by Camargo to left. And Soto's going to catch that. It's kind of reminiscent of what's going on in the AL East this year. Braves won 104 games. The Giants, led by Dusty Baker, won 103 games and went home. Incredible.
Yeah, the luxury for one of those teams in the AL East this year is that even if one of them finishes second, they will be in the wild card more than likely.
Here's Ender. He tried to bunt home a run last time up, reached on a fielder's choice. Markakis was thrown out at the plate. And Kinsler delivers low, ball one. So Ender 0 for 3. (8-5) Braves lead it. And a ground ball to short. Tricky hop. Oh, Turner stayed with it. Bad throw. And what a play at first by Matt Adams. He's made 3 or 4 of those tonight. Great catch, bad throw, excellent scoop, and that robs Ender. And the Braves are out 1-2-3 in the top of the ninth. Last call for the Nationals. Braves by 3.
Friday Night Showdown. Braves versus the Nationals from Washington, D.C. Presented by Kaiser Permanente.
Joe Simpson, Paul Bird, Chip Carey with you for the bottom of the ninth inning. Game 1. Braves 8, Nationals 5. 6 homers combined tonight. Anibal Sanchez in line for his 5th win. If A.J. Minter can pick up his 5th save in as many tries here in the ninth inning.
You know, he's had some really good outings. He had that one hiccup against Toronto where he gave up 4 runs, 3 earned in a third of an inning. But outside of that, he has not given up anything. Just a couple of hits in his last 10 outings. Worked in 2 games against Arizona before the break. 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs or walks.
Michael Taylor will be the man that greets him to lead off the 9th for the Nationals. And a swing and a miss.
Threw that one right by him.
Taylor, a fast man. He's got 24 steals and a 13-game hitting streak earlier this year, but hitting just .240 for the campaign after a breakout year last year and a fantastic postseason series against the Cubs.
Well, 87 strikeouts, 279 at bats. When he gets on, 24 stolen bases.
I think Dusty Baker really helped this kid. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Taylor.
Well, he gave him the comfort of knowing he was going to play, so he was able to relax and let his ability shine through. Right now, a little hard for him to find a spot with the way Soto's playing, Eaton's back, and Harper playing center, which is really his position.
Taylor got a piece of a cutter and stays alive, 1-2. Fouled straight back. It's a game where you look at the offensive totals. You got 20 hits, you got 13 runs. You often look back and say, okay, was there a missed opportunity in this game? And for the Nationals, it very well could have been the 2nd inning. They had the bases loaded. They had 1 out. They were down only a run. Turner struck out. Harper hit to a force play, and Sanchez only gave up 2 more runs the rest of the way. And that inning in many ways summarized what happened to Washington a lot in the first half as Taylor takes strike 3, a fastball right down the middle, albeit at 98 miles an hour. Good start for A.J. in the 9th inning, 1 away.
That's 10 strikeouts for Braves pitchers tonight. Sanchez had 8 of them.
And here's Eaton. 2 walks, a strikeout, a ground out, a run scored, and a steal of home, a double steal back in the 1st. Fly ball hit toward left, playable for Ronald. He's got that. Eaton's retired, and Turner the final hope for the Nationals. This place has been in years past a house of horrors for Atlanta. If the Braves can win this one, they'll go to 2-2 at Nationals Park. Heck, there were 2 years where the Braves didn't have 2 wins in this place.
That's true.
But we're not there yet. 1 more man to get, and it's Turner. And in the dirt, ball 1. Phillies still lead 7-5 in the 8th. Half game separates Atlanta and Philadelphia. Don't want to walk people, not with this part of the order coming up. After Turner, Bryce Harper is on deck. Braves would like to see him in the 1st inning tomorrow night. And that's exactly what will happen if Freddie catches this one in fair ground at first. He's there, and to an E he goes. The Braves have won game one, 8-5 in Washington. Anibal Sanchez now 10-1 in his career against the Nats. And a big coming out party for Ronald Acuna Jr. Joe, his first game as a leadoff man couldn't have gone any better than it did tonight.
No, he came right out, set the tone, got a base hit behind in the count, stole a base, and just got everybody excited, and his teammates followed. What a great game.
2 hours and 57 minutes. The official TOG. Braves beat Washington. Their 53rd victory of the year. 8-5 tonight's final. Newcomb and Gio Gonzalez get after it tomorrow. Braves Live at 6:30. Braves Live presented by Xfinity recaps game one next.